courage and modern energy create the stage for a spectacle like no other. This is the only stop in Africa and the final chance to claim a place among the elite. With the season on the line, every stride, every jump matters more than ever. Join the Longines Global Champions Tour of Rabat from October 17th to the 19th.
Busy watching some previews and busy watching some advertisements for Rabat coming up in a couple of days' time. It gets me so excited to return to Morocco for the upcoming stage. The question now becomes, what do we take from Rome into Rabat in a couple of days? Well, that is what GCL Round 2 is for. That is what is going to be decided later on today in this glorious autumn's day in the beautiful Italian capital, as we once again return to Cerco Massimo, Circus Maximus, for the Global Champions League. If you have just joined us, 1, you have missed a heck of a GCL Round 1. 2, we have a fascinating GCL Round 2 lined up, and it starts with some very, very interesting conversations that need to be had about teams in the top, about teams in the bottom, teams mid-table fighting for a GCL Super Cup semi-final, or at least a super late start in the GCL Super Cup quarter-final. So many conversations happening from one competition. Let's talk about the results from GCL Round 1 and remind you as to what has taken place in the first half of today's competition. Because the Shanghai Swans, who are currently leading at the end of GCL Round 1, find themselves as the final team to go. Basel Cosmopolitans, Cannes Stars, Doha Falcons, Razorback International, all the way down to the Scandinavian Vikings, including a very, very impressive result from the Paris Panthers, who jumped double clear and hopefully give themselves a great shot to go on and jump in a GCL Super Cup later on this year. Mexico Amigos, Madrid Emotion, Prague Lions and the Saint-Tropez Pirates all find themselves on 4. And then, unfortunately, tough days for New York Empire Rome Gladiators and the Monaco Comets, just unable to recreate that magic of the Cannes Stars in 2024, are just one fence in front of the Istanbul Warriors, who, quite surprisingly, an 8 for Simon de Lestre, an 8 for Henrik von Ackermann, sees them as the first team to go in the upcoming second round. Without a shadow of a doubt, the Paris Panthers, one of the outstanding stories to come out of GCL Round 1. And one of those superb clears belongs to Clara Bizzoli. She has been a wonderful talent, someone who has grown a huge amount over the last few months here on the Global Champions League. And her trainer, Francesco Tuttoriello, comes to join us in the studio. Francesco, it is nice to have you here. I am always very happy when I get to speak to you.
Thank you.
Talk to me about GCL Round 1. That was a fantastic performance. You must be very proud.
Yeah, I'm very proud of her, of the combination of Clara and Adewin. They did a fantastic round. I think was everything perfect. She rode really good. So impressive of her development, and it's amazing. I feel that I was in the ring with her. I don't know. It's just a wonderful emotion, and I hope that we can do it after in the 160 class.
Let's talk about her development, because it's easy for me to look at the championship and say, Paris Panthers have been difficult. It has not been a great season. Talk to me about her development, because this is a difficult competition. It is testing the best riders in the world. How much do you think Clara has developed over the last 6 months, 12 months? How far has she come and developed on this competition?
We need to understand that Clara was just a 2-star rider.
And here she is jumping against the best in the world.
The best shows that she did was Oliva, which is a very wonderful show. But for her, that was the maximum.
Nothing like this, of course.
Nothing like this. And then I have to say that she working so hard. She's amazing because she really believes in herself. She really wanted. We have the I have to say that we had a lot of difficult time, but at the same times we never give up. When we come back from a tough weekend, we always on Monday morning we just work, stay on the saddle, and try to push.
Is that something you coach her on? Because that sounds like a great mentality, and mentality is a very. Can I reach you here? There we are. Mentality is a very big part of the sport, and it's easy to jump a bad round and come home on Monday and have a disaster week. Are you working on the mentality a lot as well?
Absolutely, 100%. I think this is one of the most important part. I always say that when you let me say this word, when you fail in the ring, it's just one stair up for the success. It's not something that
you can have a fence down and it's 5 centimeters. That's the difference between winning and losing.
Yes. I think that the only way is work, believe it, and of course having a perfect management. And then I think like this, in a years, you can reach your goal absolutely 100%. Actually, I have to say that we are reaching our goal for this year.
Can you tell us what that was? What would you have put on paper in January and said, this is my goal for the year?
I said the only way to do big experience in this class is to having a bit of tough time in the beginning, but then our goal was to be like to jump this class with the confidence and try to do the best possible. Then we had a wonderful show in Vakasvard where Clara was clear in the 155 in the first round. Okay, we was individual that time.
Sure.
And she had the last down in the 160, the last fence
and
down.
Like you said, that 5 centimeters changes the whole day.
Yes. So what I can say, I think we are reaching our goal. Of course, for next season, we would like to have a little bit. We put our level a little bit up.
What is the messaging now? Because what you don't want to happen is to jump so beautifully and have 4 or 5 down now and throw it away. How do you give her the freedom to let the personality shine, but try and make sure that you replicate in a round 2?
It's very easy. I say that she has to enjoy what she did, of course.
Yep.
But then, when she come down from the horse, she has just to understand that everything is finished, and now we have to recharge the battery. I also check what she had like lunch, because I don't want that because this is one also important part.
Yes.
So I check it also this, and then I say now, relax, time to recharge the battery, focus, because the job is not done yet. We need to do another round, but it's like we didn't do nothing before. So the most important part, I say, just enjoy. Enjoy every moment. That's it. But with the mind on what she has to do in the ring.
Amico, grazie mille.
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille. Second round. It's been an outstanding first one. I hope it's a great second round as well. Thank you very much. Francesco Tutoriello joining us in the studio to give us some wonderful feedback, some wonderful reaction from that great performance from Clara Pizzoli and the Paris Panthers, who now jump themselves into a double clear in GCL round 1. Let's talk about how the teams are going to line up in GCL round 2. If you're new to the sport, let me inform you that between round 1 and round 2, managers, team teams are allowed to make changes. They can make a rider change. They can make a horse change. That is part of the strategy. It is part of what makes the Global Champions League so unique. Let's bring Dan Strange into the studio, into the conversation for the first time. Dan, I see you got a start list there. You had some time to go through it, I'm sure. Take me through some of the standout changes as to what we can expect for the upcoming second round.
I've whizzed through it in rapid speed, Mark, and I can tell you, Doha Falcons and Riesenbeck International change nothing. They keep the same riders, same horses as they look to make an impact today, both having gone double clear of course. Shanghai Swans, well, they have the luxury of bringing Christian Almond and Untouched LB into their lineup to look to convert a lead at halfway, which they didn't manage to do in Vienna. Can Stars? Well, Sophie Hinner stays on Iron Dames Combella, and Katrin Eckermann, she moves on to Iron Dames Yellow Blue. No real changes there for them. Basel Cosmopolitans, interestingly, don't bring in Andreas Scow. They remain with the same riders but change horses. Just spoken to Paris Panthers. Clara comes in on Fantasia de Beaufort, which is owned by Elisabetta Cortinovis, and Guido stays on Gentleman. No real surprise for Guido there. Paris looking to get one of their best performances of the season. And Prague Lions, the last ones that I will mention. Casual DVZ comes in for Peter de Vos. Lady and Fernando Martinez Summer continue for them. Prague Lions, of course, won in Vienna and one of the red-hot teams of the GCL.
Right, Dan Strange, thank you very much, giving us some feedback. Saying hi to the mascots again, by the way, who've just walked past us. They are fantastic. I absolutely love the work that they do, the energy that they bring. Welcome to the Global Champions League. Welcome to Stage 14 here in Rome. Thank you very much, Dan Strange. We'll let you get back to work, and we'll let you get back into the mix as we continue to give you some perspective as to what is coming in the upcoming second round. A little bit earlier on, we spoke about virtual rankings. And if you're new to this, again, we remind you, virtual rankings is a wonderful game to play that if you were to stop things right now, how would the competition look like at the end of Rome? What would it look like then going into Rabat next week? Well, Falcons Ride United and Kunstars would remain 1 and 2, with Kunstars further closing that gap. Shanghai Swans would climb over the Prague Lions because Shanghai find themselves now in the lead. Prague Lions would drop. Riesenbeck would have no movement. Basel would climb while Madrid Emotion would fall. And Mexico Amigos, powered by the H5 stables, would climb as well. They now would jump into 9th place. A little bit of movement in the virtual rankings after round 1 as we stand by and wait for the upcoming second round of Global Champions League. This is interesting if we take a look at the second page, because the Doha Falcons would climb tremendously, fighting along with Paris Panthers as one of the 2 bottom teams. And I'm afraid for the Paris Panthers, despite a handful of points today, they would still find themselves in 17th place. Rome Gladiators, Monaco Comets, and the Doha Falcons would then see some form of movement as well. That becomes the conversation for GCL round 2. But I believe that we are almost ready to go. I look over my shoulder. The course has been beautifully designed. All of the riders are out of the ring. Course walk has officially come to a close. And because of that, it means that we are now just moments away from getting the action underway for GCL round 2. We are live from Rome, live from Cerco Massimo, Circus Maximus for the stage 14 of the Global Champions League. We will welcome you to join us. This is an exciting moment in the competition, ladies and gentlemen, an exciting part of the season that all of a sudden is moving very quickly towards that championship story. GCL round 2 of Rome is next.
Welcome back to Rome for day 1 of the Global Champions League, and The tour has taken us to a most magnificent venue here, the Circus Maximus, and we're getting ready for the team competition round 2, but also the individual aspect. Decent prize too, over 105,000 euros up for grabs on a glorious sunny October afternoon. There is literally no place better to be than in the Italian capital to enjoy top-class show jumping. Everywhere you look, there are extraordinary monuments around this famous city. You just everywhere, left and right, it's just magnetic and hypnotic as well. So as we look back, we'll be getting ready for this international competition. The individual riders, obviously the top 40 in this class, qualify for the Grand Prix on Sunday. And watching the course designer, the much respected Giuliano Vezzani, he's in charge here. There's just details of what we've got. 80 seconds is the time allowed. Quite an interesting course. Oh wait, where's he coming from? Anyway, oh, there he is. I can see up in the sky to my left as these parachutists descend, and I don't know whether that's part of the show or it's something to do with something else, but whatever, it looks absolutely magnificent in the Italian skyline as we look at some of the riders who will be taking part here this afternoon. And it is a veritable who's who and of the sport, and we expect a very intriguing team competition, and I also expect a very intriguing individual competition as well. As Edwina Tops-Alexander was in action in the first round and will be in action again on fellow Castlefield as the parachutists descend and over the Italian skyline. And what a spectacular sight, cloudless skies here as we get ready for this individual competition. Intriguing course too. The first course, this is at 160 now, and here is the starting order, and we see Katarina Romberg will be lead-off rider. She's helped her team top of the pops at the moment in the league standings. Andreas Schuh will be representing, not riding today for his team Bells of Cosmopolitan. Some of the others can look down and see who, Dennis Lynch coming out, and one or two others there, including Yali Kass, the talented 17-year-old. And FSC Alpha, Simon Deleuze didn't have a great round earlier today, but he's on that. And Iliana will be the mount of Henrik von Eckermann in this qualifying round. And then we get into the team competition, which will start with Simon Deleuze and Henrik von Eckermann riding Iliana. And here's the others who will be coming out at various stages for the team aspect. And at the end, it will be the Shanghai Swans, and they will be represented by Max Acuna and also Christian Ullmann, who was quite brilliant in the first class, producing a clear round as an individual that was streets ahead of the rest. But we see electric blue for Max Kuna, the final combination coming forward. So lots to look forward to and savour over the next couple of hours or so as the parachutist does his job above the Italian skyline. And it really is the most pleasant of afternoons here at the Circus Maximus. So we're getting ready for the first of the individual riders to come in around this 13 obstacles, 16 jumping efforts, 1 treble and 1 double. And here comes the first rider. As I mentioned, Katarina Romberg was terrific on Calesta's Cambridge in the first round, but here she is riding Kuma 5, this 13-year-old bay gelding. And can she set the tone, obviously with Grand Prix qualification in mind for these individual riders, but it also does give the watching teams a chance to assess how they think this course might ride. Consensus, just bigger, but very fair, is the thought of the riders as they walk the course, and will that be the case? So Katharina Rongberg, the Austrian, as I say, helping her team to an excellent start in the team competitions, one of 8 teams who went double clear, and a really competitive nature to the team competition, but plenty at stake here at 160 class, with a decent pot of prize money up for grabs. And Katharina Rongberg is on her way, coming to the first fence, Longines fence, then a short run to the second, and a turn back to, and just gets a little close to fence 3, the violet fence, then to the first double, just a 1-stride double, which he's flicked that down. So this is not a great start for Katharina. And Kuma 5, this 13-year-old, going now to the treble, 1 stride, then 2 strides, but nicely through that. There's a line there, related distance to that, 4 strides to the other fence down that side, the front of the hospitality, which is in sunshine. Now coming to the Prague fence, pops that. One more at the far end of the arena, which she takes, and then coming round to the final fence. Quite a big spread on this Liverpool Douane, 160, and she jumps that and starts with 8 penalties. So perhaps a little disappointing there from Katharina, but as I say, she's helped her team to a very strong position in the Global Champions League round 14. Just getting a bit too close to that, and then another one that double. So a struggle in the early part, but she regrouped and just had 8 penalties. Now it's a question of hoping she finishes in the top 40, and there are a total competing here of 56 coming forward in this one. Well, not the start that Andreas Schue wants, as he's had a fence down on Billy Matador, this 11-year-old gelding, this Danish rider. Oh, and he's had another fence down to it, bounced and then was unkind to him. Yeah. Andreas coming round to the final fence with 8 faults. Oh, it's now 12 faults. So disappointing for Andreas. So may not be any Grand Prix action for Andreas with 12 faults, but you never know. This course proving a little tricky. And Andreas now just not quite getting the rhythm going. Took an age to come out that second part of the double, but it also did for Katharina Rongberg. So that double, which is spread of 160. So off we go with our next rider. It's the German rider Michael Vuig, and he's riding Conterio, 12-year-old. 22nd. The pretty tidy for the German rider. I think he'll be pretty pleased if he can stay clear from here on in. Too many, a couple more to go now. Gets the planks. Now coming round to the final fence. Could be the first clear round. And I think he's going to be mighty pleased with that. So Michael Veweg gives his horse a well-deserved pat as the first clear round. And that is a very pleasing round. I think he's going to be greeted by his child in a moment, and also his wife, as they're very pleased. And she came past my commentary position and gave a good fist pump. She was delighted with that, and why not? So for Italy, though, next up, coming in on a grey, it's Palliator VDN Ranch, Pier Giorgio Bucci coming in, world ranked 57. So a consistent performer. Just flicks that top fence, coming to fence 2. And a turn back to 3. This with a not much of a spread, just 110, 153 high. They get more demanding. Then the double. She's through. Taps that. All's fine. Now to the treble. One stride between the first and middle part. Decent cheer if he can go clear. Rolls it, but stays kindly for him in the cups. Oh, groan around the crowd as the top plank cascades to the ground. So disappointing. 75.68. Good time, and that should be enough though to guarantee his participation in the Grand Prix on Sunday afternoon. But disappointing to have that penultimate fence done. It had looked a pretty tidy round of jumping until then. So, next up, Martin Fuchs. We saw Leonard J earlier on. Now he's riding L and L Lauder. Imagine he probably might ride Leonard J in the Grand Prix, but he's going to make sure he's qualified first of all. But this is no slouch, this horse. This 10-year-old bay, L and L Lauder. The one clear round of the 4 so far. Oh. First part comes crashing down. Oh, and the second part. Oh, this is not making it very easy. Oh, and the third part. Not ideal. So 3 fences down. So may struggle to make the Grand Prix. To the final fence. Not Ellen and El Lauder's best day, so frustrating, but with 12 penalties does go ahead of Andreas Schue, who finished on that mark. So Well, there might be some anxious times in front to see if this horse or Martin is qualified, but you see the combination catching him up first and third part, and then completing that line, the final fence also catching him up, but he stayed clear after that, and he, I'm sure, is not overly pleased. Next up, another Italian coming in who is part of the Doha Falcons team, but he wasn't riding in the first round or in the second round, but the team went well, double clear. But Giacomo Casadei on Marbella de Chabil, a 13-year-old black mare. Riding positively here, looking for a decent time. Because there's also an element, if you're quickest and you may have one fence down, it will help you get into Sunday's class. Combination now in shadow. Keeping it going nicely. 3 more jumping efforts to go. Got to be careful of these planks now. Trappy, but he's fine. Comes round to the final fence. There'll be a decent cheer if he goes clear, and you can hear that decent cheer as Giacomo Casadei goes clear and actually goes to the top of the initial leaderboard with 75.01 ahead of Michael Weiweg. So a very good round there from the Italian. Never looked like having a fence down. Very steady piece of riding, and a reasonably quick piece too. Well inside the time. So, one Italian clear. So next up, Emmanuel Gaudiano is next into the arena. He is on Esteban de Hus, an 11-year-old. Needed for the Rome Gladiators today. Quick over those benches in the combination. This might be a quick time actually. 50 seconds at that fence. .01 the time to beat. Can he remain clear? Just need to check, settle. No problem. No, still keeping it going. It's going to be far. Oh, makes a bit of a hash of the last. Got it all wrong coming round. It'd all been so good. And the time was 73.20. Just got it all wrong approaching that and didn't get the leap that he wanted. Until then it had been an excellent run, but should be enough given the time and only the one fence down to be in the top 40. But that will be frustrating that he couldn't make it a clear round. You see just the back legs never quite communicated, and as a result made the mistake, and see the disappointment from the watching team. Well, the Italian riders continue as we look back and see the river dominating the view. And next up, Nico Lupino, and he's riding Iniesta, 12-year-old bay. What can Iniesta do? Coming round, still keeping it together. Horse waggling his head around. Keeping it straight when it matters. But that first part, which is catching something, maybe coming out of the sunlight into the shadow on that turn as well. Car's accuracy. Oh, and there's the front pole has gone down, so getting a little expensive. Final fence then for Nico. And time faults, just one time fault. Didn't look the easiest of rides, but got round. And so 9 faults for Nico Lupino. Well, another Italian rider coming in now. Emanuele Camilli is coming in. And he is riding Chaco's Girls Star. It's 13-year-old mare. And there you can just see for Nico, not just a little disappointing, but we're often going already with Emanuele. One Italian rider through clear. Eyeing up this treble. I need somebody to take a bit of a hold after the treble. And great to see another clear round. He made it really easily and with the best time so far, smashing the previous best, 72.81. So Emanuele Camilli may be eyeing up some of the 105,500 euros that is up for grabs in this competition, as there are confirmation of the early standings here, and through the first group of riders. As we look back at the Colosseum in the distance, next up we have another of the Italian contingent. This time it's Julio Montenegro Marquette, and she is riding Coiner. Just flicks that front pole, but it's knocked down. Going through, still clear. Certainly keen to get a move on. Oh dear, that middle part just coming down. Exuberant horse. Now 3 more to go. Turning back. It's been a good round. Quick round. 73.76. But just the one fence down, so should be good for the weekend. Looks, well, I think frustrated with herself. And it's here, the second part. Just touches back leg coming down. Accuracy is the name of the game. You can see there, that back left leg. So, 3 clears so far. 2 Italians have gone clear, and a German. So we look back at spectacular palace, and then you can just see over in the distance the Colosseum. Now, Dennis Lynch is coming in on Chicago, this 9-year-old grey. Still feeling his way at this highest level. If any man can get a tune out of a horse, Dennis can. Promising 9-year-old, another one of these exciting group of horses, well through that. Keeping it going, still clear. 3 more efforts to go. Not trying to be ridiculously quick, just got to keep an eye on the time. Well, I think we might be entering into time fault territory. We are indeed, but I think he'll take that because there are 3 time faults, because that should be good enough for Sunday. But that was a nice run. He didn't try and force it. Only a 9-year-old, just kept the horse within his compass and his comfort zone, and delivered a very nice round of jumping, but obviously not quite quick enough in the grand scheme of things, but still a good effort from Dennis. Now another experienced rider coming in, Niels Brinciels, who's part of the Prague Lions team, and he's riding Chaco's Lando All, and the Prague Lions will be going, didn't have 4 faults from Peter Devos, but they're going with the same 2 riders. There is the Circus Maximus, the venue for this, so let's see how Niels can get on. Setting for, oh, it just wouldn't stay. Gravity eventually taking hold. Good sight of the combination through. This we just got to steady for that fence, and Niels does get Chaco's Lando to steady enough. Coming around to the final fence, 4 faults. And second half inside the time, but now one of the 4 combinations to complete with 4 faults. After 12 riders have gone, we've got 22 that are going in this individual section. Total of 56 in all. Obviously the others all part of the second round of the Global Champions League. So next it's Carlos Guerrero, and he is riding Origi van Gezeven, 11-year-old. Sense was slightly going wrong from the moment he came out from that trouble. Now the planks are down. Another one down, so it's gone south quickly. More damage. Final fence. And it's 16 faults, 4 fences down for Carlos. And probably think that won't be enough to get him into the weekend in the big class. Well, next up is Yalikas, impressive 17-year-old from Israel. Rode in the first round for his team Rome Gladiators. Had 8 faults riding a different horse. He's riding here Luna van Reutershof, a 13-year-old chestnut mare. Hit it but stayed. Coming round. Onto water, to the treble rather. Oh, the first part's down. Just hold it together. Scrappy, but stays intact, that fence after the trouble. Such a validation for the Global Champion League's desire to help young riders. Well, Yalikas is getting plenty of opportunities, and he may have picked up time faults, but once again, after a setback, it is just so impressive where he just keeps it together. His focus is there, and the horse may not be going that quick, but it was that fence that was his undoing, but made sure there was no other error. So not a bad effort to think he's only 17 years of age, but so much more to come in terms of the potential. As long as he gets the horsepower, the equine world is at his feet. Right, next Italian rider in, and it's Mauro Matucci, and he is riding Filippo, a 10-year-old grey. Fence down though for Maro, so, and another one. Just coming out of that trouble, you've just got to make sure you regroup pretty quickly. It's only 4 strides, so if you're a bit freewheeling, you can get yourself in a tangle. Well, another fence down, so it's 12, and no time faults added, but puts him towards the bottom of the leaderboard. Now, next up, as we see, so next up, Jorge Mate Capdevilla from Chile, and he's riding Chacaletto, a 12-year-old bay gelding, part of the Scandinavian Vikings setup, young rider. Didn't ride for them today. Oh dear, 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 dear. Lost all impulsion coming into that, and I think he's putting his hand up and saying that's not going to work. As you can see, got it wrong in the first, and then just thought this ain't going to, we're not getting anywhere. Momentum stopped him in the tracks having that first one, and then there was nothing to give to try and get over the second part. You see here, rolls that first one and then just sort of belly flop down and puts his hand up straight away, does the Chilean. And next up, from Turkey, Efe Siyahi. He's running his a 15-year-old grey mare, Cantati. There is Efe. So here we go, still remaining clear. Setting for this double. Keep it going. Bit hard work through there, but the horse responded. Three clears so far. Oh, not anymore for this one. Plank catching him up. And just trying to stay on his mark. It's the plank. Just got to keep an eye on the time. 80 seconds. I think we're going to get some time. Of course, we're going to get one. So Efe Siyahi is on 5. So should be all right for the weekend, but you never know. But so far, just those planks, the Global Champions fence, and the steady round, but just not quite quick enough. And slipping down just slightly slower than the Ali Cassis round. Now Gregory Cotard is coming in. He's riding for the Saint-Tropez Pirates in the first round, and actually had a very good round for his side, went clear quite quick too. But now he's riding a different horse. This is Cocaine de Val, 13-year-old chestnut mare. Fence is all right, but 4 faults to his name though so far. Into these planks. Oh, costly. Trailing a leg, and 76.27 onto the group of riders on 8 penalties. It's just the 2. Katarina Romberg who was first to go, and next up we've got Victor Bettendorf is next to come in. And he's on Gibbs en Prince. Man who launched, catapulted himself to the upper echelons last year. Riding this 9-year-old. So many good horses now. Victor, keen running. He stays clear, be quick. Oh, but just turned into that and didn't work for him. Coming off almost into the sunlight and then into the shade, just might be catching 1 or 2 out, and then just never got the line right. Had 4 faults in the second round in Vienna. But now regrouping is Victor. And decides that that'll do, retiring, just popping another fence. So disappointing there for Victor. So we've had 2 retirements so far. And, well, next up, one of the star combinations, as we see coming round the turn here for Victor, into the shade, and then the horse just went, oh, I don't like that. Actually could have spooked left towards the crowd, but all well in the end. But Victor saying, we'll leave it there. But this next man and this horse now will think or two about winning. Harry Schmolders and Monaco. I'm sure they'll be eyeing up that quick time of 72.81 here of Emmanuel Camilli. As we look back over Rome and take the drone shot towards us here. Can't get enough of that. But Harry Schmolders can't get enough of winning on the Global Champions Tour. Monaco's 16 years of age and spring-heeled. Still loving the old game, but gets too close to that. It's a surprise. Just got the approach to that fence all wrong. Now coming down to the treble. And just using all his experience to regroup and head towards that fence 4 strides. flicks that one down. This is a sport never ceases to amaze. I think you may be watching a Rolls Royce, but the engine's suddenly a bit spluttering today for Monaco. Coming to the final fence, time 74.33. What's that going to do? Well, probably should be all right, but no guarantee at this stage. But there are 56 combinations going so far, just looking at that. 9 have gone before, so I think he probably should be able to sneak in with 30. We got 34 more combinations, 36 more combinations to come forward. And the next is from Monaco, and it's Inigo Lopez de la Osso Franco. He's riding NASCAR Vant Siamsov, a 12-year-old bay gelding. Oh, kicking away, settle down. So the course proving a reasonable challenge. Certain fences are definitely looking like the bogey fences, and this is the stretch, and the first part is down. Now he's got to settle. Oh. Didn't quite in time, so now keep it together. Oh, another one down, spinning out of control. Oh, stayed intact. 12 it is so far for Inigo. And that plank flicked to the ground. Last fence 16, so make it 20. So learning curve. Inigo, one of the young riders here this week from Monaco. The whole point of the Global Champions Tour is this opportunity for young riders, and Horse-and rider will learn 160 is a big leap in effort required for both, but grimace from Inigo. Now the last rider to come in as an individual, it is Riccardo Pisani. We have 2 Italians with clear, 72.81 the time set by Emanuele Camilli, which looks very competitive, but obviously with the team element to come, we could see some quicker rounds as teams vie for a strong finish and a quick finish. Chaco's Lowito is the horse that Riccardo is riding, 10-year-old. This 7A is the bogey fence. I just wonder whether the element of the sun comes through. Still at 4 faults. Just got to keep going time-wise. Be one of the. If he's going to go clear from here on, you want to be one of the better ones. Here comes the final fence. Oh, anguish. 8 faults now for Riccardo, and he slips behind Harry Smulders. So disappointing end for the Italian. And so here are the standings. Emanuele Camilli and Giacomo Casade open up with the 2 clear rounds for Italy, and then it is Michael Veg in third on the individual. We'll be back for the second round shortly. Welcome to Rome for the latest stop on the Global Champions League. We're into the second round on a fabulous afternoon here in Rome. It is a most spectacular venue, and of course this city hustling, bustling, teeming with life, but so many memories of yesteryear. And we have come to the Circus Maximus, scene of sporting venue moments centuries ago, but here now providing equine entertainment of the highest order once again. As I say, on a picture postcard perfect afternoon in Rome, and the weather could not be better, basking in 25 degrees centigrade temperature, and here on a late afternoon, shadows starting to lengthen, but the crowd enjoying every minute of what has been a really promising and intriguing start to the competition as we look over the city. And Madrid in motion, trying for a three-peat, although I have to say after the first round they're up against it, but the Shanghai Swans could have a chance of adding their name once again to the Roll of Honour as they came out on top in the first round. So they may be looking to get another one. And just confirming the overall standings, Valkenswaard United, Canstad, Prague Lions, Shanghai Swans are in the top four, but all to play for. Maybe to get into that top four, and then there's all to play for at the bottom, because one team is going to miss out. But both Doha Falcons and Paris Panthers have got off to a flying start here with double clear rounds, so all to play for as far as that. But let's take a look at some of the highlights. Valkenswaard United and Hans-Dieter Dreyer, they were sixth, and they of course are leading the league table, but sixth after round one. Double clear with Hans-Dieter Dreyer and Gilles Thomas were double clear to put the team in a strong position. They say 8 teams went double clear, and Gilles Thomas has been so prolific. Now Shanghai Swans were quickest, amazing performance, quickest in the first round. It was Katharina Rongberg and Max Kuhner. Now they are in fourth, and they need just a good position to make sure they consolidate their position in the top four, because it means they miss out on the quarter-final stage, gets right through to the semi-finals. But Max Kuhner and Katharina Rongberg were brilliant. Now for the Madrid in motion, it wasn't their day, sadly. Of course, they are currently sixth on the overall standings, but they one fault, and that was Victor Bettendorf, who we just saw a few moments ago, and they are 11th. That's after round one, but sixth overall, and eyeing up a place, you'd have to say, in the top four, but maybe haven't done themselves any favors. Now Riesenbeck International are fifth after round one and are fifth overall, so they have got a lot to aim for in the double clear department, with Max Weishaupt and Christian Kuckuck. They're responsible in the first round, and in this second round the Riesenbeck International will be represented by the same pair again. Now Prague Lions, they are 12th after round one. Wasn't their first round, third overall, and it was the time, and Peter Devos and Joran Jay was the problem for them with the 4 faults. But the 4 faults mustn't be thinking they're out of it completely, because it was the second fence, which will probably be rather the last fence, and he'd be bitterly disappointed that fence came down. So all to play for. These are the current standings after round one, and obviously they go in reverse order, but Shanghai Swans, Basel Cosmopolitans, Canstad, Doha Falcons right in the hunt there after what has been a very disappointing season. Riesenbeck International been a model of consistency. Good to see Paris Panthers with a double clear. Then looking at some of the others, maybe a surprise, Prague Lions, Rome Gladiators on home soil not having the day they wanted, and Istanbul Warriors, another one, not having the first round they would have wished for. So, but all to play for. Now let's take a look at the course that has been designed by Uliana Vizani. An intriguing course, judging by what we've seen in the individual aspect of it. And there's a couple of fences that definitely do seem to be causing issues as we kick off with the start at 150 Longines upright, relatively straightforward, and then a run to the second, again, relatively straightforward, 150 and a 150 spread, so not causing too many problems. Neither is this third fence where they turn back 180 degrees to 153 upright with 110 spread. Then it's to the first double, a one stride double, 4 A's at 155, and the second part, again, catching the odd one out, 153, 160 is the spread, so it's meaty enough the second bit. So make sure you've got getting plenty of forward motion. Then the turn back to another upright with a big spread here, 150, 160 on that turn back. Then coming across the region to the Prague upright, 155. Now this is the area that's causing problems. Coming in off sun into the shade of this combination, which 150, 160, this is the fence that has really, if you don't get it right coming to there, this fence has been falling pretty regularly. Then as you see, one stride, but quite a short distance, upright at 155, and then it is two strides with an upright at 160. So, and then you've got a 4 stride distance to the next fence. So this is where you've got to regroup after kicking on through that combination to make sure you approach this one accurately with a 160 spread. Then that's fence 8. Turning back round to 9, which is again the Global Champions fence, 155 it is here. Back across the arena, 153, 160, that next fence, and then it's turning back here. Now this catches people out, this Prague fence, 3 from home. It is at 155, but then horses know there's no real let up. The next fence, relatively straightforward, number 12 at 160, but still requires accuracy. And the last fence, we've seen how people have that down, so there's no given across the course here. So that's what they're having to face. It's been interesting. I think that a treble might have a big impact, but there's a golden opportunity for some of these teams to make a big impact and produce great results this season. And this is the starting order. We kick off with the Istanbul Warriors, a power pairing of Simon Delestre and Henrik von Eckermann. They will be expecting to go back up the leaderboard. Then Monaco Comets, Angelika Augustin Zanatelli and Edward Tops Alexander. Rome, next up we have the Rome Gladiators, Nadia Peter-Stein and Roy van Beek, the talented young Dutch rider, is in here. New York Empire come in with Robert Murphy and Bertram Allen going again, but on different horses in this second round. The Saint-Tropez Pirates with Thibaut Philipparts coming in and Duarte Ziabra riding again, but on a different horse. Then next up we have the Prague Lions, Fernandez Martinez Sommer going on the same horse, Peter Devos coming in on a different horse. Next up, Madrid in Motion, Michael van der Vleuten and Eduardo Alvarez Aznar flying the flag for the defending champions. Next up then we have Mexico Amigos, Zoe Hank-Conter and Eduardo Pereira Jimenez. Then Stockholm Hearts with Jane Richard and Olivier Philipparts, both riding different horses here in this second round. We'll have a break before the 10th team comes in, Scandinavian Vikings. Great to see Lara Treiber have a nice clear round, but she's also partnering Amanda Landenblad. And then Paris Panthers. Now, this is a golden opportunity there. Can really put the wind up the Doha Falcons, but then we also see Hans-Dieter Dreher and Gilles Thomas. They must be amongst the favourites. Also then Riesenbeck International, same pairing, same horses. Then next up, Doha Falcons. What an opportunity for these two. Can they consolidate, go clear? Next up, Cannes Stars. Been such a consistent season. Sophie Hinners and Katrin Eckermann wearing the colours of Cannes Stars. Basel Cosmopolitans, Sasha Nygaard and Marlin Modola Zanatelli on different horses. But the team who impressed more than any, it is Christian Aumann and Max Kuhner, who Christian Aumann coming in on untouched, Catherine Romberg stepping down, Max Kuhner on a different horse as well on Electric Blue. So they're going to take some beating. 8th on the overall standings. Probably too far back to think about trying to get into the top 4, but actually after today that seems to have probably gone. They've now just playing for pride as they kick off proceedings here. So with 16, both Simon de Leste and Henrik von Eckermann both having 2 fences down in the first round, and he's going again on the horse that had 2 fences down in the first, Dexter Fontenis. This Gremlin's out through the first double. And he's going quick enough. Quickest time so far in the individual was set by Emmanuel Camili, 72.81. If we're looking at what may be a beatable team, a time. Oh, and that fence has caught Simon out. And the third part of the combination, and the turned a bit ugly for Simon de Leste today. His horse hasn't got it accurately today. It's just one of those things. So it's not been Istanbul Warriors' day. They're 2 times winner on the league, but outside that they tend to be a little inconsistent. Coming to the final fence, and well inside the time, but 12 faults to add to the 16 they picked up in the first round. So it's not their day. Just as you see coming in here, just doesn't get the height and fine through there, but then the last part again flicking with the back leg, and then just again just brushes the back pole. So 12 for Simon de Leste, and look a bit of disappointment on his face. So Ileana, no slouch in her own right, and Henrik von Eckermann he rode Steely Dan in the first. 12-year-old mare now on her way. As I said, it's all a matter of the qualification for the Grand Prix, but so there's always something to play for. And the prize money in the individual category, which is over 100,000 euros prize pot in this particular class. Now, can Henrik von Eckermann get it right coming to this treble? No! And he too, like Simon de Leste, has had the first and third part down. I assume it's made more difficult by coming out of the sunlight. Another fence down. This has not been the day for the Istanbul Warriors. Now just taking it easy for the remainder of the round. Pops that now coming to the final fence. It's going quite quickly until the fences came down and another one bites the dust. So actually, I think the Istanbul Warriors might want to put a line through today's performance. Sometimes it happens, but you never can tell. So it's a
This has been an afternoon to forget for the Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem Equestrian Team. 12 penalties for Simon de Leste, 16 for Henrik von Eckermann, to bring them home on a total of 44 penalties. Difficult to see them finishing anywhere but the bottom here in Rome, unless there is an elimination somewhere. Certainly an afternoon to forget, and that brings into question their participation in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Rome later this weekend. But that is a story for another day. Next, Monaco Comets, powered by the Iron Dames, Angelica Augustin Zanotelli and Edwina Tops-Alexander, return for Global Champions League Round 2. If you want to see what happens here in Rome for the rest of the afternoon, sign up for a GCTV Live Pass and come join us here at Circus Maximus.